Corporation. We're about to start the show. This is Africa Media Corporation, Africa Online Media Corporation, and we're about to go live. It is Sunday, the 8th of March, 2020. And of course, it is a day charged with a lot of things, beginning with those in the United States of America who had to move their clocks 1 hour ahead. I always tell my students, spring forward in the spring. Okay, why don't we get started? I think it is the top of the hour, if not already a minute past. Experts tell us that tourism is that industry that generates income without adversely impacting the environment. Travel is very much part of tourism, and many countries in the world develop their tourism industry principally because of the dividends the sector yields. As it were, adversity sometimes sets in and disrupts good intentions. 2020 has unfortunately kicked off with the coronavirus hanging over nations and businesses as a sort of Damocles. With the coronavirus, excuse my mispronunciation, coronavirus spreading like a fire in the open savanna, the fear is that the second victim to this new health hazard would be the travel and tourism sectors. What should travelers know and be able to do as the coronavirus becomes the #1 cause for concern? While humanity's health and well-being is highly threatened, travel and tourism are already being adversely affected and risk being very hard hit. In the face of this new threat, what should governments and international organizations do to prevent the adverse effect of the infection? Can the travel and tourism industry survive the aftermath of the coronavirus? Africa Online Media Corporation invites you to share your views on tourism and travel industries in the age of the coronavirus. And here now is the reflection as at this point in time. Here we go. Daylight saving time rolled in as usual without fanfare at 2 a.m. Washington, D.C. time, bringing in its wake, as it were, the 2020 International Women's Day, a day to celebrate the woman or womenfolk, also reminding us that in these days of the United States, for those of us that dwell in this country, it's been 100 years since a struggle that one lady, Susan B. Anthony, lived for came to be realized. In fact, Susan B. Anthony, a selfless slave woman who fought for women's and civil rights, she died in so many years ago, many years before the legislation she fought for actually saw the light of day. It was the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, a document that finally gave the women of these United States the right to vote. March, as it were, and as we know it, is the third month of the year and the second of 7 months to have a length of 31 days. It is the first month of spring, which begins between March 19 and March 21. So we're looking forward to spring in the next 1 or 2 weeks, in 2 weeks. So today, March 8, is the 68th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. 298 days remain before we see the end of 2020. International Women's Day is also today. It is held annually on March 8 to celebrate women's achievements throughout history and across nations. It is meant to be a moment in time when humanity collectively challenges and raises awareness about stereotypes by fighting bias, by broadening perceptions, and by improving situations for women. The goal is to ensure that together, each one of us helps create a gender-equal world. Today in history and back in 1957, the Suez Canal, which connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea, was reopened to international traffic by Egypt after Israel withdrew from occupied Egyptian territory. Today in history and back in 1917, the Russian Revolution began against Tsarist rule following the lack of food in Petrograd, leading to the abdication by Nicholas II and the beginning of communist rule in Russia. And on this day in history, back in 1789, not the French Revolution, but here in the United States, the Constitution of these United States went into effect. On now to the topic of the week, travel and tourism in the age of the coronavirus. From Wuhan in China to Washington State in the United States, from Rome in Italy to the Table Mountains of South Africa, and from Nairobi, Kenya through Dakar, Senegal to San Francisco in the United States of America, human activity is functioning at reduced rate, all impacted by an invisible but devastating virus, the coronavirus, and its more deadly strain, the COVID-19. The leader of the Catholic faith goes behind a shield, and world leaders prescribe the wearing of masks and the need for extra hygienic conditions or practices, or to ward off, if we can, the deadly effects of COVID-19 and the coronavirus. Stock markets have been rattled, and airlines and other mass transit carriers are operating at less than their usual capacity, all because of COVID-19 and the coronavirus. An untold strain has been placed on socioeconomic, political, and cultural activity, all because of COVID-19 and the coronavirus. Yes, travel and tourism, two socioeconomic activities that generate wealth without terribly defacing the earth in which we live, have become the direct victims of that faceless airborne phenomenon. As it were, the question that comes to mind is, who will be safe? Who will succumb to the virus? And what human activity, apart from travel and tourism, will triumph at the end of the day? As Africa Online Media Corporation discusses travel and tourism, hoping that it will rise above everything else, and in the age of the coronavirus, our prayer and hope are that before long, the creator and provider will, in his usual way, arm researchers and scientists with the knowledge to come up with such a vaccine as would not only prevent, but will totally help humanity defeat the virus and banish it to the annals of history. Join the conversation, tell your story. Let us collectively and individually raise the awareness that we need to shame the coronavirus and COVID-19. Happy Women's Day to all, and to you, Reverend Pam and Sylvia, and all the women folk on Africa Online Media Corporation. And may your tireless and unrelenting prayers and power, may your tireless and unrelenting prayers, power, and empower those minds that seek to make our world more livable, more welcoming, and more meaningful to each and every one of its children. That said, this is Africa Online Media Corporation. We are tackling travel and tourism in the age of the coronavirus. And I know we are going to have a great guest on the program. He was initially just to talk about tourism, but because of what is happening, he has branched out to ensure that he tells us more about the coronavirus and its effect and impact on tourism and travel. I'm talking about my brother and great friend, Ni Joseph Fumunu. Good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Whoa, this editorial is expensive. I don't know where to begin. Mr. Asonglefac, you've practically, literally covered everything. I've not listened to such a rich editorial before. I think it
was written 30 minutes ago, just as I was getting ready to come on the air.
Can you believe that? This
is so unique, so profound, so I like how to describe it.
Thank you.
You just best. I mean, when you give this kind of comprehensive editorial, you know that encompasses not only the virus, but goes back into history and dates and events tectonic movements that shook the world centuries ago. I mean, one is left speechless.
But no, brother,
nonetheless,
I will try to. Yes, I trust you.
I'll try to contribute to what you have already said.
Great.
As much as I can. Let me begin by welcoming everybody.
Sure.
On Africa Online, those who are here and those who are yet to join. And before I take off, let me use the opportunity to say congratulations to the women of this forum and the women worldwide for the International Women's Day. And they have come a long way. It's been a man's world, as James Brown used to sing, the man's world. But it's about time that it ceased being a man's world to a woman's, human folks' world.
Yes.
Women, it's unfortunate that it's only within the last 20 years that the world recognized the contribution of women and the importance of women to society. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the 20th anniversary of the International Women's Day being celebrated today. You have given a long, comprehensive history of the movement of more than 100 years ago by the women, and today we are glad to be celebrating the International
Women's Day. Yes. Unfortunately, it is being overshadowed by this coronavirus thing.
I know.
Yep, it's been overshadowed by the coronavirus. That coronavirus sometimes is one forgets to pronounce it correctly. You're not alone.
Think about Toyota Corona, isn't there?
Corona.
Yeah, there's a Toyota Corona. Yeah, that's right.
There's a Toyota Corona. Yeah, Corona. That's
think
right.
Think about the Toyota vehicle and you'll get it. I don't think anybody will be buying Toyota Corona during this coronavirus.
I hope it wouldn't affect that sector, the vehicle sector.
The automobile industry,
The automobile industry, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, you gave very good statistics and information on the coronavirus, and I think the audience want to hear more specifically what impact it has had and potentially is yet to continue having on the fortunes of the tourism industry, which is one of the key industries that drive the world economy, the global economy, and upon which many countries depend.
Yes.
For their foreign exchange, revenue,
earnings.
income.
Yeah.
Earnings. Yeah. So, as you rightly say, the tourism industry is one of it's a very key industry. If you look at the sheer numbers, employing almost 320 million people worldwide, and is 1 in every 10 jobs in the world is in the tourism sector, tourism and travel industry. And as you rightly said too, is the only industry that generates a lot of revenue and creates jobs without negatively or adversely affecting the environment within which it operates. As tourism is actually travel from one's place of usual residence to another destination for a period not exceeding 1 year. That's tourism. That's the simplest definition.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's the simplest definition of tourism.
Yes.
And so because mankind travels a lot, and in our modern age, the jet aircraft revolutionized and transformed the way mankind, people travel, and with exotic destinations, and people travel for variety of reasons, to visit friends and family. People travel for leisure and pleasure. People travel for business dealings and negotiations and implantation of industries and other activities. So we, according to the latest figure by the WTTC, that's World Travel and Tourism Council, WTTC, the travel and tourism industry has lost more than $140 billion already.
Oh my God!
Already?
Yep,
Wow.
$140 billion. Why? That's a lot. That stems from what? Flight cancellations. Millions of travelers have canceled their flights.
Yeah.
I mean, if you imagine, let me just give some quick statistics. Like a city of Hong Kong in China receives 6 million tourists a month. 6 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and the population is 7 point something million in that city is 7 point something million, but its population almost doubles every month because 6 million people enter Hong Kong every month. But that because of the coronavirus, the travel, the outbound or the inbound travel into Hong Kong has been cut by half, to about 3 point something million, to about 3 million plus. Yes. So that's just one indicator. If you imagine again that countries such as Spain and France that rely on tourism. As a matter of fact, the number of tourists that enter France and Spain every year is more than the population of those two countries.
Wow.
That shows that people are on the move, and people are on the move. But so again, if you translate these figures into, you begin to understand why the tourism industry has lost already $140 billion within one month. Why? Stemming from the cancellation of flights. People are no longer traveling. They are scared to travel. Because within a plane you are within an enclosed environment. When you're in the aircraft, you are within a closed environment, and so people, and they say breathing is airborne. This disease is airborne.
Yeah,
it's airborne. The virus is airborne. So therefore, people in closed environments are more likely to get impacted or affected, afflicted by this virus than those who are in more open, like open parks and other stuff. The same reason, the same thing goes for cruise ships. I'm sure we're all aware about some cruise ships that were quarantined in Japan, in Yokohama Yokohama somewhere in Japan.
One is right off the coast of San Francisco now. So we're talking off the coast of California.
Correct. Yeah. One is stuck off the coast of San Francisco with 3,400 passengers on it. And they have been quarantined there for how long? Nobody knows when they'll be let out. Just the scare, just the fact that they have tested 21 of those passengers with a coronavirus has resulted in the government giving orders that the people should be quarantined there. But for how long is very inconveniencing. So it has, as you rightly say, it has changed the lifestyle of people. It has changed the socioeconomic and activities of humans. Because imagine being locked up in your room on a ship for 1 month. You cannot even go out onto the deck. You cannot go to the swimming pool. You cannot eat in the restaurant in groups like the cruise lines are. So it's really changing and frustrating to people who find themselves in such closed-in environments.
Yeah.
So this virus is actually ravaging the world and is spreading every day. But one thing that I want to mention here that I suspect that the governments deliberately are underreporting the number of people affected and number of deaths because they don't want to cause pandemonium, global panic.
Yes.
Yes, and which I understand that's being responsible, because imagine the kind of chaos that will be in every society if people know that it's spreading and killing so many. So it will cause. The human instinct to survive, self-preservation will make them go chaotic, and there's no government or no force that can retain and control such massive crowds of millions of people on the march. So we can understand that so let's bear in mind that the statistics don't say the whole story.
They don't.
The public statistics don't tell the whole story.
Yeah.
Tourism, unfortunately, is so sensitive to situations and conditions that cause insecurity, as you rightly pointed out in the editorial. And it's very sensitive. It's a very sensitive industry, despite generating 1 in 12 jobs in the world, despite generating almost $7 trillion, almost $7 trillion a year in the global economy. That is still been affected. And this $140 billion that has been lost is only to the airline industry, just by cancellations and grounded flights.
Yeah.
aircrafts are not taking off with with the frequency that they did before the outbreak of the virus. Due to the cancellations, a lot of planes are grounded, airlines are grounded, and those that fly are not flying with all the seats having been filled up. So it's causing major economic havoc, erecting economic havoc and changing lifestyles, and the loss of income is particularly troubling to those who have been affected and told to laid off temporarily while waiting. Hopefully, we're waiting and hoping that the vaccine will be found or cure will be found to take care of this virus and mitigate the effects. So mankind is only hoping that the scientists, as you say, as in your editorial very brilliantly, mankind is hoping that God will facilitate the scientists and the virologists to find a cure, and the pharmaceutical industry to find cure for this virus of the century, much sooner than later. Without which the world as we know it will not be the same. It will be in for rough times, for very rough times. And then coming to Africa in particular, let me emphasize on Africa, because Africa as a continent with its countries, we all know Africa doesn't have the national assets, the development, the advanced medicine or medical assets, so to speak, the healthcare assets to quickly mobilize those assets and the experts, the experts that may exist. And of course, if they exist, they are fewer in Africa, like everywhere else. Unfortunately, these are the realities. So Africa stands to suffer heavy losses as a result of this virus. And many countries in Africa depend on, even though their tourism sectors are not as developed as other regions of the world, other countries of the world, but many countries in Africa, especially East Africa, Southern Africa, North Africa, they depend heavily on they depend. To quite an appreciable level, extent on tourism receipts to finance their development projects and programs.
Yeah.
With people no longer traveling, and with the income reduction, income and receipts dry up, it goes without saying that people will suffer loss of income, and therefore the standard of living too will drop, and the human happiness index will drop. Just a chain reaction. Tourism, as you well know, Mr. Asong, Brother Asong, as you well know, the tourism industry is the only industry with what we call forward and backward linkages. It creates so many jobs and is linked to so many industries and sectors of national and global economies.
Yes.
Okay, since people are canceling flights, first of all, the airlines are affected. Workers, what happens to workers? Both ground and air.
And air.
They are followed. They are either laid off, or their hours of operations have been cut down because of the decreased demand.
Yeah.
The fall in demand. And on the ground too, you have ground transportation. When people travel and land at airports, they take ground transportation, either buses, taxis, Uber, Lyft, name it. So all these other connected economic activities are negatively impacted when travel and tourism drops.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, Reverend Palm, let Brother Joe take a breather so that we can discuss other things while encouraging him not to go away. I know that Sylvia is muted and following us, but that not hampering the program.
I'm here.
There she is. Oh, there you
let's
are.
hear from her because
Wow.
she might not be able to talk for much since she's on the road.
Yes, since you're traveling, so please go ahead and have your say. Then Brother Joe will go on, and any other person who zooms in will be very happy to have them because we want everybody to share their views. So Sylvia, good morning or good afternoon, and happy International Women's Day to you.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody. Sorry I came in late. I'm on a train to Belton, Texas. I decided to come to Dallas yesterday, and if you don't mind, look at it. That's the train.
Oh my God!
Are you alone? Are you alone?
No. Nick cannot see the train. There's nobody on the train. It's just her and a couple of people.
Yeah.
No. Wow. Believe it or not, there's quite a few passengers on this train.
Okay.
It's just that the seats are higher than the people, so you really can't see. But I just wanted you to see where I'm at. I'm actually at Fort Worth. We're at the University of Texas, Arlington. That's where we have stopped. So this is why I was able to call in quickly before the train starts moving.
Yeah.
But talking about the paranoia of travel, yes, a lot of people are affected, including myself. Believe it or not, when I was coming into Belton on Friday, I came in by the same train, which is the Amtrak. I got on the train, and as soon as I sat down, I heard somebody sneezing in my back seat. You know what I did? I quickly grabbed everything. I grabbed everything and I moved to the next seat. So no sooner had I sat on the second seat, I think 10 minutes later, a younger lady started I think she was choking, but to me it sounded like coughing. I again moved and I moved it.
Luckily, there were a lot of free seats in the place. Empty seats.
No,
there were a lot of empty seats.
The funny part was I didn't realize people were watching what I was doing. So this older man follows me and says, "Ma'am, you're going to end up sanitizing the entire train with the way you're moving from seat."
That's something.
Yeah. Because every seat I sat at, I sanitized and then I would sit down. But anyway, after he mentioned that and brought it to my attention that I was, I realized I was being paranoid. I was being paranoid. And you know what? Look at that. This is very serious now, huh? Now, just in 2 days, you see how much sanitizer I used in there?
And every little place. Yeah, they ran out.
They ran out. So I'm saying this is a very serious pandemic that is affecting a lot of people and travel, as you have said. This train, I think under normal circumstances, is almost like at a 75% rate. But today, I think it's maybe 40-45%. I'm not sure whether it's because of the coronavirus or people are just not traveling. Besides, in the state here of Texas, they are now on spring break. So one would have naturally assumed that this train would be full because people are moving. This train moves from Chicago all the way to California and back. Wow. It's a daily basis train. So in other words, it touches every city, every state coming down from Chicago all the way to California. Now, the people on the train seem to be very relaxed. When I look, nobody seems to be panicked. And the only thing I'm noticing is everybody is sanitizing. When I pass by people, I'm seeing people with sanitizing. Everybody keeps sanitizing, which is how we should live on a natural day-to-day basis anyway. This sanitizing business should not only start because of the coronavirus. It should be our natural way of living on a day-to-day basis so that we stop this unnecessary transmission of all these viruses and diseases and other stuff that we shouldn't be doing. Now, we're talking about tourism. Yes, indeed, tourism has been affected quite a bit. And right now, I'm in a panic mode because we are supposed to be going on a trip to Zambia in May.
I'm supposed to be on that trip.
And we're supposed to be taking 250 to 500 people with us. Now, when I'm thinking of those numbers, I'm saying, okay, how long is Corona going to be here for? Is it a she or is it a he Corona, whatever this Corona thing is? But she needs to go. She got to go because we don't need this distraction right now. We are going to build the Africa that we want, and this cannot stop us today. It is time for the women to rise. It is time for the women to do what they got to do. And today is Women's Day, so I'm speaking as a woman. I am a superwoman. So with this coronavirus here, if we can fight it, let's fight it the best way we know how. The researchers I know are working 24 hours, doing the best they can, and thank you to them, for trying to do what they can, but preparedness is always a good thing. I got a video from Germantown, Maryland last night about Walmart. Can you believe that Walmart is empty? It doesn't have anything on the shelf. There's no milk, there's no water, there's no bread, there's no sanitizer.
I went to Walmart to look for water, Osaka water. They didn't have it. I went to All grocery stores, they did not have
No,
it.
there's nothing. So now Sam's Club also, and what's the other one? Costco. I hear they've also been invaded, and all of them are being emptied out now.
Yeah, one of my sons works at Costco, and he came home. I said, "Where's the water?" He said, "We're out of water." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I said a big store like that getting out of water." He said, "Yes."
Coronavirus.
Yes.
Yeah, he's gone out now to look for some water because we're running short in the house.
Well, tell him not to go to Walmart because Walmart is empty. I have a video here which I was going to share with you.
Okay.
Because all the shelves are empty now. I believe in Maryland there were 3 reported cases that
yes, there are 3 reported cases.
Yes,
unfortunately, in the county in which I work, Montgomery County.
Yes, Montgomery.
I live in Prince George's County, but I work in Montgomery County.
Excellent. So my daughter apparently was in touch, or there were an office away from my daughter where she works at, the people that are dealing with the coronavirus thing itself, the pandemic itself. So now, if the state of Maryland, with our Governor Hogan, be in that type of a panic with only 3 reported cases, what's going to happen when we have 21 and 22 and 23? That means the state is going to come to a halt. Like the learned doctor was saying a few minutes ago, this here has affected everybody, especially the economy. The economy in China right now is at almost at a standstill because there's no productivity, no production. Most of their factories, industries have been shut down because all of them are opening intermittently. You know, like some of them will say 5 days, some of them will say 10 days, some of them will say 15 days. But now question is, for those countries who predominantly depend on the Chinese imports, especially our African countries, are they still willing to import those products from China? You know, it's in Wuhan, I know that, but it's spread to a lot of other cities or whatever they're called, states in China. Are we still going to be honestly, faithfully ordering all our products from there, knowing what we know?
That's the question.
Those people who do business in China, how are we going to transact our businesses? Because yes, online we can, but in the physical, most of us go to China for our businesses. So how is this going to affect some of our personal business, especially people who've retired like myself and depend on the Chinese products for my business? Tourism itself almost has been cut in half. I heard our esteemed guest online just when I was playing with my earphones, trying to log in and trying to listen to the statistics is given are really alarming. They're really alarming. The statistics is given on how much the industry has been affected. Today, with being Women's Day, I saw the women pilots that are all flying. I think it was Ethiopian Air, and I don't know whether Emirates too, but there's a few airlines today which have declared that it's going to be all female pilots or female staff that are running their airlines. Mm-hmm. Now, it's a good thing that the female are running, and I mean, it shouldn't only be for one day. They should be doing this almost on a daily basis. But how full are the flights? How full are the passenger planes? Do they have enough capacity to keep their normal schedules going back and forth, knowing what they know? Our learned expert a few minutes ago was talking about Africa. If this thing spreads in Africa the way we're looking at it, it's going to kill a lot of people because we're not prepared.
It's already there.
I know it's there, but it hasn't spread as dramatic as it has. Yes, you know, it's funny how Africa has managed to contain it the way they have. And looking at the facilities that they have for such pandemics or such epidemics, it's remarkable that they have done, you know, a good job so far of what they have done to maintain. I heard there's 21, is it in Tanzania? That just today, I heard there was 21 that have been diagnosed with the coronavirus. Yeah. But yet they're maintaining it within the parameters of the confines of where it has come. So as a person who follows the world news, it does worry me quite a bit. And my kids were asking me, Mom, why are you going on the train when you can drive? I said, you know what? If Corona is going to find me, Corona will find me no matter which way I go. Right now, I know I'm following it, but look, I sanitized everywhere where I sat. See this? I cleaned everything, just like they're telling us, clean when you're sitting. And I'm hoping that will keep you safe.
Yes. As I said last week in church, we no longer shake hands at the sign of peace. Yeah, the priest this afternoon when I went to church almost said, "Give each other sign of it," and then he checked himself and said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and people just raised their hands and waved at each other and said, "Okay, peace." So it's happening. I mean, things are happening, and if you don't mind it, hear about this from Africa at the same time. That is Senegalese radio was reporting that elsewhere on the continent, various sporting activities are being postponed, delayed, or cancelled to prevent the spread of the virus. The Basketball Africa League will not take place in Dakar on the 13th of this month. The NBA has cancelled that or postponed that, and following that, there are other events that are not going to take place. That have been postponed, especially the Tour de Maroc, that is the cycling race in Morocco, has been postponed. The International Judo Grand Prix, which was to take place in Morocco, has also been postponed, and several international conferences that were to hold either in Addis Ababa or in Nairobi, Kenya, have all been postponed, including the Einstein project, which deals, I think, has to do with the STEM education and so on. All those things, all those things.
I have information on that one. Yeah, Kenya has shut down its borders.
Yes. So it is really, really impacting countries all over the world. And it's good to be careful than to be sorry. So I'm happy that countries are doing that. I know 3 cases, or was it 2 or 3 cases were reported in Cameroon. I was not able to get the details, but I saw the minister on a video, the Minister of Public Health, talking about it and saying that they were taking measures to ensure that the 3 people that were affected or that are infected are actually kept under quarantine and are being followed. Yes, so that is happening, and I'm happy that the government at least has opened up, because I know Cameroon is one of those closed societies where they hardly admit some of these things, but they have spoken about it, and I hope that we all will continue to sound the alarm and raise the awareness so that our people don't die before their time because of the coronavirus. Yes, Reverend Pam or Sylvia, whoever has a question for our guest.
Let Sylvia ask a question, because once time is going to come.
Hold on, I'm having trouble with my volume here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, while you fix that, these are some of the statistics I have from Africa. Algeria has 5 cases so far, Egypt 2, but this we don't know if they're updated as of today, because I got this yesterday. Morocco had 1 person, Nigeria had 1 person, but Nigeria it has extended. I think there are 3 now. Then Tunisia had 1 as at Friday evening, actually. So the impact is growing. I mean, it's affecting many more places, many more countries on the continent, and we only hope that. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, after Sylvia goes, I have a comment or question for Nijo.
Yes. I just wanted to share something that I heard yesterday. You know how people like to testify in church, right? When we're to have a testimony, and God did this for me and God did that for me. This pastor here calls up, he's talking about, hey, praise God, hallelujah. Everybody's like, you know, the same way we all answer. Then a minute later, he calls up anybody with a testimony. So this young man comes up with a yellow shirt and he says, yes, I have the greatest testimony on earth, and I thank God, you know, for his wisdom, for his ways, blah, blah, blah. Then I thank God that I just came back safely from China. Can you imagine that the whole church emptied, everybody ran, and the pastor was the first one?
People ran for their lives.
For their lives. Yeah.
People ran for their lives because of Wuhan.
That's right.
Yeah. But anyway, regarding the postponement of most of all these the activities that the world at large has declared, especially in Africa, it's a good thing to do. It's preventative measure, because if we are stupid about what we're doing, we're going to get ourselves killed and a lot of other people killed, because knowledge is power. Even though the coronavirus is very new to each and every one of us, but the little information that we have been given by the scientists or the power that might be is enough and is sufficient for each of us self-preservation, as well as the brother and the sister next to us. Like today, I found out to say, when somebody sneezes within, is it a hand, like when you stretch your hand out, you need to move right away before you inhale that air and stuff like that. So with them canceling all canceling all these activities and marches and festivities, it's an excellent thing. I think I applaud the leaders and I applaud those people that have thought about it way in advance. It will keep us indoors. It will keep us indoors a little bit more often. And a lot of businesses, restaurants, bars, and nightclubs, and whatever the outdoorsy things that we do are going to be affected economically, yes. But guess what? Even though they'll be affected economically now, there's going to be a lot of lives preserved. Because if they don't do the self-preservation thing, we're going to lose a lot of us and a lot of people. And right now here, the susceptible people are the people, the older ones and the children that are being mainly and mostly affected. Let me ask our guest, how true is it that it appears that the susceptibility of this is being inclined mainly to our brothers and sisters who have a lighter pigmentation than us? Is there any truth in that?
Melanin. So, well,
yes,
I've heard that too. I've heard that too, but I don't know how true it is scientifically. Well, I don't know if there are any scientists on pigmentation and skin specialists. I don't know, but I've read that too, and if it is true, then that's wonderful news.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Wonderful for us, and it's bad for the other brothers and sisters.
Yes, yeah. Well, it might be God's way. It might be God's way to compensate, to make up for the lack of national assets and medical facilities and other scientists and specialists that are available in other countries and comparatively lacking in Africa, available but lacking in quantity and quality.
Okay, this is Reverend Pam. I want to acknowledge we have somebody, it's a 410 number. Please, you are welcome. I'm not sure the identity of the person.
That's Maryland.
Yeah,
that's so, Maryland.
Maryland 410. Somebody just
Baltimore.
Somebody died from Maryland. You are welcome, and please, you are muted. Okay, you're welcome to say something. I think the person just unmuted. Welcome to the show. Are you there?
This is me, Felix Enoma. Please, I'm at the meeting, but I'm just listening, please.
Okay, Felix, thank you very much.
We have missed you. Okay, but I have a comment and a question with you. You know, we're talking about the economic impact of coronavirus on the travel and tourism industry, but I also want to say there is a boost to domestic economy in this country because a lot of people are stocking up on groceries. Like I said, I went to 4 different grocery stores yesterday. The lines were horrendous. All I was looking for was Osaka water.
Reverend Pam, the train is moving in case I drop off. That means that I may hit a blind spot. So let me say my goodbyes. Let me say my goodbye for now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your faithfulness.
Pleasure, Sylvia.
Thank you.
Yeah, by the way, before you go, Sylvia is Nia Song's co-anchor. So she's here every Sunday.
Okay, awesome. Good to know.
But I'll stay tuned until it cuts off itself.
Yeah, and Sylvia is from Zambia. So, okay, and good. Dr. Ogoji just joined.
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Ogoji. Yeah, Dr. Ogoji, you're welcome as usual. Dr. Ogoji is our prime physician. So, Dr. Ogoji, I think you were saying something, but I missed it because I was trying to see how many people were watching on Facebook. I'm actually here in a technical capacity. Now that Dr. Ogoji is on, maybe you guys want to repeat that because Dr. Ogoji is our point physician. Dr. Ogoji, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll be with you shortly. Let Nijo from Manon finish what he was saying. And then we'll get back to you.
Just so you guys know, Dr. Ogoji and Nijo and our guests are from the same school, St. Beats, Ashinkom.
That's right. Yeah, we share the same alma mater.
The same alma mater, okay.
All right.
Great. Good to know. Nijo, go ahead, and then Dr. Ogoji.
I think I wanted to ask a question or commentary before I...
No, okay. I was commenting that even though coronavirus has, basically, I don't want to say quench, but crippled.
Dampened.
Dampened and even crippled the economy of countries like China, because even though people may be ordering stuff online, they are shut down. They're asking a lot of people to stay home. But that statistics you gave about Hong Kong, the number of visitors being cut by half, that is enormous. That is outstanding. But I was saying that there's been some boost in certain sectors like the grocery stores. The people that have grocery stores, they've seen a hike in sales. you know, but I don't think, I think it's just a surge because they're not being able to replenish or restock the shelves as fast as things are flying off the shelf. I think people are afraid that this coronavirus is going to become so bad that they won't be able to go out of their house. So people are stocking up on groceries, toiletries, water, milk, you name it, people are stocking up on it. So I just wanted to make that comment that while there's a negative, you know, impact on the economy globally, some domestic vendors or sectors like the grocery stores are seeing, you know, a surge, an upward, you know.
That is true. I agree. I agree with your statement. It's very true that the slowdown in the transcontinental and oceanic transportation of goods from China in particular, particularly with while creating immediate shortages, and again, it depends on how long this virus is going to be around before a vaccine is found. In the meantime, in the short run, in the short term, is going to boost local production and replacement of mostly edibles, foodstuff, vegetables and stuff like that. And maybe, you know, local chicken production, and then less, because I mean, as we all know, China is a manufacturing hub, is a powerhouse, is a manufacturing powerhouse of the world. You know, unlike the USA, whose economy is more service oriented and high tech and service oriented, but most things are produced now in China, and particularly the trade. China being the greatest trading partner to Africa. You know, Africa is bound to be impacted because of the closure of swaths of hundreds and thousands of industries in China, across the whole of China, not just in Wuhan, not just in Wuhan city, you know, which is in the Hubei province, because Wuhan is in Hubei province. Yeah. You know, the whole province and across China, from Xinjiang to Shanxi, they're all affected. The whole China, it's a manufacturing country. So Africa will be negatively impacted in the short run. But depending on the length of time that this virus is going to be around, before this vaccine is found to mitigate the effects, you know, it could result in the boosting of local products and production. You know, yes. So which will actually be a good thing, because jobs will be created. You know, economic activities will be. I mean, import substitution. The import substitution will take place forced by the virus, not planned by economists and national plans. Okay. Yes. So these are some of the things that we should that are likely to happen.
So let us turn to
Reverend Pam. I just wanted to just say necessity is the mother of all invention.
Yeah.
Now, out of need, they will invent their own stuff. As Sister Sylvia, stop depending on China. You know,
that's right. So let's turn now to Dr. Goji. Dr. Goji, good afternoon and welcome. Oh, Sylvia is back on the line. Yes, you have a question for Dr. Goji, or you want him to come in?
No. I was saying the Chinese part, I just spoke for others. That's usually not my mainstay for me, but I was just speaking on behalf of other people that I've been talking to regarding how their businesses have been affected.
Okay. Dr. Goji, good afternoon again. And how has it been in your state? I know your state had one of the first cases. How is it today?
Well, Washington State is a big state, you know. All the cases are more concentrated in the Seattle area, in one of the facility in nursing.
You are breaking
about 5 or 6 of the dead, about 5 or 6 dead in that nursing home alone. So the cases here are concentrated in Seattle area. I am almost 5 hours from Seattle. I live in Spokane, which is the second biggest city in Washington State, but far from Seattle. And at least half of the deaths in Washington State are from this particular nursing home in question. So it's an emergency again, but as we say about economic activity or tourism, I will tell you that my clinic, which is a big healthcare system with over clinics in town
Dr.
can afford, cannot get
your
hold
voice
of.
was breaking. Your voice was breaking. Can you repeat what you just said about your clinic?
Clinic.
Yeah, clinic.
Yeah. Basically, I think it's a big clinic. It's a very good, it's a big center with more than 15 clinics. Okay, let me come back. Let me do something, okay?
Okay, all right. Okay, Sylvia,
let me just welcome while Dr. Ogoji is getting his technical stuff, apparatus together. I want to welcome, I believe that's Godfrey.
Yes, this is Godfrey.
Yeah, Godfrey, good afternoon and welcome. I saw your piece and I'm very happy about it. Reverend Palm, over to you.
Yeah, yes. At the top of the hour, when I make the announcement, Godfrey wrote a beautiful tribute to women. Sister Sylvia, you want to hear this? So at the top of the hour, we're going to give him some time after the announcement to read the piece on the air. It's a poem that he wrote to women, you know, so that it can bless people beyond just Facebook and our WhatsApp platform. But I think Dr. Ogoji is back. Wait, hold on.
He was trying to arrange something. Sylvia was saying something too. Oh, is he back now?
Yeah, Dr. Ogoji, wait, his video is not on.
Oh.
Okay. How is the connection now? Better?
Much better, much better. We like your hat, by the way. You love hats.
he likes hats. Yeah, he wears them almost every day.
Yeah.
Thank you. I wear hat every day. Every day.
Thank you. There you go. Yes.
Okay, and we can see Joe Godfrey too.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that my clinic is a major health center in Spokane region with more than 15 clinics.
Okay.
We cannot get more than 5 boxes of face masks from the company because it's been rationalized. So face masks is out. There's shortage of face masks, shortage of sanitizers, shortage of tissues. So there's economic boom in this area. Yes. Masks, hand sanitizer, and clean up. There's a boom.
Water.
As you see if you go to Costco, all these other big shopping centers, the shelves are empty. People are stocking stuff for eventual quarantine of the region. And I'm beginning to think, should I stock up stuff? I've not stocked a single thing. But I hope they don't quarantine us for a week or two. I'll be in trouble. So there's a boom in economic activity, local production of stuff, but foreign stuff like airline travel, meeting, hotel businesses are being affected. So it's a loss and win situation. But I would say this, even though the food industry and are booming right now, it's a temporary boom. If this virus goes away, there'll be a slow in that area because people will start consuming what they reserve, their storage, or what they
reservoir.
So the long run, the economy will suffer because the airline, the hotels, those ones once lost cannot be replenished.
Yeah. That's right. Now, Dr. Ogoji, one quick question. Your 2 countries of origin, what's your update on those, Cameroon and Nigeria? Any updates from that end?
I know that in Cameroon, there was 1 case in Yaoundé. That's all I knew so far. Nigeria, so far, I'm not sure about the number, but last time I checked, it was about 1 case in Nigeria. So I don't know.
Okay. I just wanted to put you on the spot on that. Now, Nijo. Oh, yeah, Godfrey, your quick take on...
Godfrey is also in the health. He has a background in this thing, so he can wait. We have 5 minutes and ask either a comment or ask questions to our expert. And then at the top of the hour, after I make the announcement, he will give his show. So Godfrey, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Reverend Pam. Thank you, Dr. Ogoji. Just to cue on from the question about Cameroon and Nigeria, I don't have any updates on Nigeria, but I'm current with the situation in Cameroon because the Minister of Health put out an official communique 2 days ago. Was it early yesterday or 2 days ago?
2 days ago, yeah. He was even on the air live, yes.
Yes. So, and then the follow-up information I got yesterday was that the girlfriend of our patient 0 has also been identified and quarantined because by the time they were doing contact tracing, she too had already come down with symptoms. So
okay,
that's a plus on our public health experts. I mean, it means that they are really
okay, good.
The intervention is effective. So the prayer is that they should continue in that light, so that because the earlier they identify potential and start treating them before they become symptomatic, the better will contain the disease, because with a 14-day incubation period, the risk of spread is lower if we track people who have been exposed earlier and put them on quarantine and treat them.
Yeah, what nobody has been able to tell us is those Chinese who had gone home for their New Year break and I believe returned to their different countries abroad. I don't know any country that has said that we've had these Chinese people quarantined or whatever. In Cameroon, I know there are lots of them there. I don't know how many traveled to their country and how many have made it back to Cameroon. But somebody seemed to intimate that the western region of Cameroon in particular has a good number of Chinese populations who are building some projects there. So I don't know if government has said anything to that, but I know they haven't because the minister would have made allusion to that. All the same, Nijo, tourism, travel, these are hindrances. What about internal travel in different countries where these cases are being reported?
Well, it's just a natural reaction when people hear that town or city X, their virus has been detected there, or patients have been detected or identified who have been afflicted. It's just natural tendency for people to shun those traveling to those towns, you know. So that's within countries. Within countries, of course, travel to be restricted based on the information that comes out to the population as to where they might have identified certain
cases.
Cases, yeah. So that too is affecting internal travel as well as international travel and intra-African travels too. You know, like now, like in Europe, let's get Italians. I mean, Italy is known to be like a heavily affected European country, and then there have been restrictions by other European countries for people traveling from Italy into other European countries. Same to happen in Africa, as word of the spread of this virus continues to grow. People will be shunning and trying to avoid those areas, those countries, cities, regions, or states and provinces. So it's just natural human instinct for self-preservation.
Yes.
Yes.
That said, that said, you so much about the Chinese. You know, there are 1 million Chinese living in Africa. 1 million living in the whole continent of Africa.
Wow! And I didn't know that number.
I do that.
Okay.
Anyway,
yeah.
That's my area. That's one.
That's right.
I'm in travel and tourism and development. Community development. Those are my areas. So 1 million Chinese are living in Africa, and somebody rightly said that during the lunar year, they just celebrated the lunar year, and many Chinese go back to their home country to celebrate this lunar year. The question that is left unanswered is whether African countries are instituted or put into place measures to check the returnees, so to speak, from China back into African countries, because these 1 million Chinese are living in Africa, but not all. They are living there now, involved in local economic activities, as from manufacturing to roasting corn and plums on the streets.
Yeah.
But
okay,
Nijo,
just take a breather there. Take a sip of water while Reverend Palm at the top of the hour tells us what our expectations are for next week from this afternoon going forward.
Yeah,
Reverend Palm.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, I am learning a lot, you know, and I'm sure our listeners are learning a lot. I'm streaming. There's several people watching on Facebook. You guys know I'm not an IT expert. I'm just doing this because we're still waiting for some IT volunteers, some IT help. But we are going to try to stay along this path. But and it's a good thing. Niger is not just a tourism and travel expert; it's also a political economist and an economist. You know, we are going to be talking about the role of the diaspora in African development, because the future of Africa is in the hands of the diaspora. So we're going to be talking about that starting tomorrow. And I know you have a lot to say about that because you were one of the Africans that were here in the 70s. You know, you came to the US in the 70s, 1974 to be exact, if I'm not mistaken. And just for transparency purposes, for those who don't know, Joe is my oldest brother. He's number 1, I'm number 6. So that's for transparency purposes. So
you're miles away behind him.
You didn't say that, yes. But yes, so we're going to be talking about the role of the diaspora in African development, and all of us here have an important role to play, and that's what the Africa's Brain Bank is doing. And it's a good thing everybody is part of Africa's Brain Bank. Everybody here was at that event, except Sister Sylvia, who this year is playing a vital role. She's not just coming out, she's not coming as a guest, she's coming in to handle the red carpet and the salute to Africa. But we all know that the vision of the Brain Bank is to put an end to Africa's brain drain. So the role that we are going to be playing in the development of Africa is to apply our brains, you know, bank our brains, which all of you are already part of the Brain Bank. But what is our role in the development of Africa, the role of the diaspora? You know, everybody's talking about diaspora, everybody talk is cheap. We need to start doing something. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But like I promised, Sister Sylvia, you need to hear this. Our brother here, Brother Godfrey, wrote a beautiful tribute to women. So Godfrey, the airways are yours. I know that we are streaming live on Facebook, so a lot of people
are following.
And a lot of people are going to watch this show. Over to you, Brother Godfrey.
Wow, thank you very much, Reverend Pam. Thank you to all the people who are listening, and a special shout out to all the African women. So I wrote this poem this morning as my own way of celebrating Women's Day, because I'm one of those African men who doesn't lie about the role that women have played in my upbringing, starting from my mother, my sisters, my wife, you know, and all the great women that I keep meeting on a daily basis. So the poem is titled Ode to African Women, or Ode to the African Woman, written by Godfrey Eso. In a world of pain, sorrow, injustice, and uncertainty, your birth is a sign that God is not done with us yet. O African child, O daughter of mine, I live for you. In the classroom, in the farm, in the market, in the community, and in the home, you educate yourself to become a holistic being, a unique presence in the world, a reservoir of potential that has so much to give. O African girl, O sister of mine, I adore you. It is you that is the bringer of life. It is you that is the nurturer of life. How is it possible to imagine life without you? O Mother, it is through you that all the blessings of humanity flow. You are the mother of humanity. You are without equal. O African woman, O bride of mine, I would offer my life for you. You are a wife, mother, homemaker, community keeper, and career woman. And you are a genius at them all. How do you do this? I am amazed by you, oh my superwoman. Oh African woman, oh teacher of mine, I celebrate you. You are an industrialist, an entrepreneur, a billionaire, a philanthropist. Your life is not about comparing with men. You are so unique that when you have the space to express yourself, you come up with things that simply marvel the world. Oh, African woman, oh, mother of mine, I praise you. Your voice and charm bring to life the beats and mysteries of Africa. You incarnate beauty, you channel wisdom, you preach peace. You are whole. Is there a greater artist, scholar, or peacemaker than you? Oh, African woman, oh, star of mine, I dance for you. You have shattered the weaker sex myth and shown the world that you can excel in anything you want to. You leverage your opportunity to be fully human so that you can bless the world with the power of the woman. Oh, African woman, oh, leader of mine, I will follow you. Your faith and resilience are unequaled. Your prayers accompany your children from the womb to the tomb and even beyond. Your every presence makes heaven tangible. O African woman, O saint of mine, please pray for me.
Awesome.
Wow. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
Let me say something before you guys others comment. You know, I watched the event last year, and this young man truly respects, appreciates, value, and love women. You know, Brother Godfrey, you might not remember this, but when you came up during the brain bank, you know, to speak, you paid homage to your mom, and then you said anything started by a woman and supported by a woman will succeed. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I remember that.
That was so profound.
Yes.
As those of you who were there, everybody knows, Sylvia knows this. Our amazing sister, Dr. Arikana Chiomboroko, was the keynote speaker. And boy, oh boy, did she deliver. You know, so when we have men like you that respect women, appreciate women, you know, and support women, that we can only go up. There's only one way to go up, and we will succeed.
True.
Because we, women of Africa, we are lighting up Africa, and we're reclaiming our inheritance. We're not waiting for the men. It's not men versus women, but we're just saying that we need more men like you, Brother Godfrey, who respect women. More men like Nia Song here, who has been married for 100 years.
Methuselah, you're talking.
To the same woman. I don't know how many people can boast that. Nidro has been married for
me too.
He's been married for 3 decades, 3.5 decades to the same woman.
To the same woman. Oh boy.
That's right.
So
yes.
I don't know how long you've been married. Dr. Ogoji is married to. We lost. I think he's gonna come back on. But you know, we need men like you, because there are some men with fragile ego. They cannot stand a woman in charge. They cannot. They feel like they should always be in charge. But I just wanted to appreciate you, Sister Sylvia, your comment on that tribute to
absolutely, absolutely. It's an absolute fabulous poem. And
your voice, okay.
You're breaking up.
The road. She's traveling by train.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yes.
I will forward the poem to you, and he has one with illustrations. I'll forward the poem to you, Sister Sylvia. It's a masterpiece.
Thank you so very much, Godfrey. And to tell the truth, when Reverend Pam sent that to me, I was like, oh my, this takes me back to 1960 something. I was in Form 3 when we read.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. said that the poem was awesome. It's very touching and it's very true. His words are very flowery and absolutely fabulous. Any woman who will listen to that will appreciate this. Who will support women.
Your audio is breaking.
Oh, again, breaking.
He poured out.
Yes. Okay. All right, Sylvia, we lost you. The sound quality is getting bad and bad and bad. So all the time I was saying that takes me back to when I was in Form 3 in Sase College, and we read The Black Child. That is L'Enfant Noir.
L'Enfant Noir,
and that poem to his mother. Oh, ma mère. Femme noire, femme africaine.
Femme africaine.
Yes, I remember it better in French than in English. So as soon as I saw that, I said, oh, Cameroon coming up from Cameroon this time, not from Guinea, Conakry. Wow. So Godfrey, thank you very much. And thank you for paying tribute to the people that make the world rock, the women. If not of them, I don't know what this world would be like. So Nijo.
Yes, sir.
What do you have to say about that poem and that tribute to the women of our times?
It is splendid. It is brilliant. It is just so timely and touching, because it comes from the heart and it reflects the truth. It reflects the truth about women, about the woman folk. You know, yes. So to Brother Godfrey, I say kudos. I don't know how to use for that poem. Many women will adore it. It respects it gives respect where it's due, and it talks of being a peacemaker, a pace setter, a nurturer, everything, give of life. You know, it's everything. So rich. It's so rich, yes. Very rich. So I just want to say congrats on a poem well written. You know, it's gonna last long. It's gonna be read and appreciated by a wider audience than this platform.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That said, Godfrey, I know you are aware of our topic, travel, tourism, and the coronavirus. What else, apart from the facts that we know on the ground, what else is your opinion about travel, tourism, and this invisible but devastating disease?
So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. My advice to people in general is to not travel at all unless you have to. Because the problem with such outbreaks is that the response usually comes after a case has been identified. And in this case, we're talking about a virus with a 14-day incubation period. So by the time one person is showing symptoms, we will need to do contact tracing for like 100 people that person has met within the past few days. So the way to be safe is to just avoid maybe leisure travel for now. I spoke with somebody from China last night, and she told me that in their town, they have voluntary quarantine, in the sense that everybody stays at home. Public places are shut down, so only the basic necessities are open. Then nobody travels out of town. So if you're coming from out of town, they automatically quarantine you at home. They see your house from outside.
Wow.
And so going back to your question about the Chinese in Africa, this is what I know in theory about public health, but I don't have a means of verifying if the Cameroon Ministry of Public Health is actually doing it. Trying to block or quarantine all the incoming Chinese can lead to an economic meltdown, you know, some form of instability. So what the smart thing to do would be to trace all people coming in from China or from other zones like now Europe, where the incidence is high, and keep a log of them, so that through surveillance, we could keep an eye of those who come down with symptoms. Another good thing with the Chinese is that they tend to cluster a lot. So it's easy to locate them. Like we just mentioned Bafoussam. Those in Bafoussam, most of them are there on construction projects. Those in Boya, same thing. Those in Bamenda, same thing. So if the Ministry of Health works in close collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism, they can actually keep a log of all people coming in from abroad, be them Chinese or Cameroonians coming in from abroad, so that when any of these people come down with 1 or 2 symptoms, they are immediately flagged and taken into the appropriate care facilities.
That's right.
Yeah,
Now,
so
Reverend Pam has...
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
We Africans, we need to stop being dependent on foreigners. We really need to stop. Before when I was growing up, I never saw a Chinese person in Cameroon. Life was good. There was still life. There was money. People were surviving. I mean, people were thriving. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
The Chinese people have convinced Africans that they need them. Even the motorbikes that they are sending to Africa, they are not safe. So what I'm saying is that let the Chinese be quarantined. Let the economic meltdown so that our people can wake up and stop being consumers and start being producers. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, so.
Well,
thank you. Yes. Nijo, go ahead.
Reverend Pam has taken a more extreme position that I was going to propose, which I still welcome it. I still welcome that nonetheless. But I was going to propose, following Godfrey's input, that no to quarantine except somebody is identified as having been affected or afflicted. But I would have suggested that ministers of health of Africa begin to test. They subject these returnees from China with a test for the virus. If they're identified to have it, well then they can be quarantined. But if they're fine, they should be let free to go back to their activities within the African countries where they carry out their activities. So that's all to say. But I say, yes.
Yeah.
Good. So thank you. So when the Ebola outbreak was ongoing, I happened to have traveled to South Africa through Kigali, and there was rigorous screening at the airport. So yes, I know that African countries are doing that screening for whether you're coming in or passing through. They are doing that. The problem with Corona is that it has a 2 weeks incubation period, meaning that you can pick it up today and you only become symptomatic in the next 14 days. Therefore, the airport screening will not be enough. So what I'm suggesting is that screening at the airport is just the beginning, but keeping a trace of all these people and following them up for at least 2 weeks, that is a comprehensive approach.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to mention something also. We haven't talked about this.
Go ahead.
We need to educate our people. Information can save lives. We need to educate our people that they should not be afraid to get tested, and they should not be afraid to be that they will be ostracized, or people will look down on them. Because I know, especially in this country, people have avoided Chinese. Me, I stopped eating Chinese food 3 years ago. Nobody will make me go to a Chinese restaurant. But what I'm saying is that our people need to be educated to know that if you've come in contact with somebody that might be infected, or you're having those symptoms, shortness of breath, or flu-like symptoms, go get tested. My thing is, I don't know how available the testing kits are back home on the continent. How available are they? And if somebody is sneezing and coughing, let them stay in their room. Let them be quarantined. I'm sorry, you don't want to infect your whole family. You don't, because somebody needs to take care of somebody. So we have to educate our people. We really need to. And most of our people back home have WhatsApp. Some of them are on Facebook, so they have internet access. So I know there is a web access without internet. I don't remember what that thing is called. I actually asked somebody on this organization to look into it. They didn't. We need volunteers to do all these things. But please, when you get information, instead of sharing all kinds of nonsensical pictures and videos that doesn't help anybody's life, now is the time for everybody to start sharing. I'm not talking about fake news now, not fake. On last Sunday, I talked about sending a picture of a patient claiming that it was a pastor that went to pray for somebody with coronavirus in Nigeria, and they got coronavirus. And at that time, there was just one diagnosed case of corona. So that was fake news. I'm talking about information, facts, maybe from the World Health Organization, from UNICEF, from CDC. You know, we need to share the appropriate information with our people. I don't what about the people in the villages, because these Chinese people, when they are doing construction work, they work in the villages too, and a lot of them. That's a show for another time. But they abuse our girls, our young girls, while they're doing all this nonsense. We've seen all kinds of pictures, but that's another show. But I'm saying that let's share the information. Let's wash our hands, you know, with water and soap. Not everybody has hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your nose, your mouth, your eyes. Avoid touching yourself. If somebody is sneezing, please, you don't have to have a mask. I saw a funny picture of a woman who is wearing underwear on the face as a mask. So do your own makeshift mask, you know. But let's if you suspect that you've been exposed, please go. It's right in the diaspora. Go get yourself tested. If you are back on the continent, you're not sure where to get the test. You know, quarantine yourself, but let family members help you with the hydration. Keep you hydrated. You know, I tell people all the time, I don't take the flu shot. I'm not prescribing anything for anybody. I'm just telling you what I do. I don't take the flu shot. I drink pepper soup with a lot of pepper in it. When I have a cold, it knocks it out. It's work for me. That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that anybody that is sneezing or having all these problems, seek medical help. You know, I don't, even if there's a vaccine for the coronavirus, I'm not going to take it because I don't do vaccines. I don't trust vaccines. Hey, don't take it personally. I'm talking about me. I'm not telling anybody not to take vaccine. I'm just me.
Yes.
I took flu vaccine once, even though they say the vaccine should not make you sick. I took it once. That was the only time I got the flu that year. I'm not saying that the flu vaccine gave me the flu. I'm just saying that I don't take it. Yeah, so.
Thank you very much. And on that note, we are going to continue the program, hoping that in the next few minutes, we will be able to have our last words, and then we will draw the curtain on the program. Reverend Pam, is Dr. Ogoji back?
No, he's not. You know,
is Sylvia back?
No, it's Sylvia's on the train. So
I know she's on the train, yes. Okay. Yeah, Nijo, that leaves us to with Godfrey to say our last words. So Nijo, please go ahead and have your last word. Travel, tourism, and the impact of coronavirus on all this.
Well, I started by giving a lot of statistics, which are the latest that I laid hands on. I would just have to take it as one at a time, and people just there's nothing we can do about, because human beings are they have this natural instinct for self-preservation. The tourism and travel industry will not come back into full capacity until quite some time after the vaccine, if the vaccine ever comes, would have been found and administered to bring back confidence in the minds of people to travel and to revive the tourism. Their conventional tourism destinations will start seeing again the arrivals, and receipts and income will rise, and jobs will be created. Until then, we just have to take precautions and be aware of how fast or how far the virus is spreading, and take precautions at individual group, family, and national or regional levels.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. Again, thank you very much for your poem, but we're not done yet. Your last word on the topic, plus if you have any other thing to say about the women on this International Women's Day, don't hesitate to add to your wrap-up. Godfrey?
Thank you very much, Nia-Asong. So I'll begin with the coronavirus, and I think a lot of emphasis is being made on the environmental aspects of the problem, which is hygiene. That is very good. One thing I would chip in is that if we could combine hygiene with our management of our internal environment, that would go a long way to protect us from the infection. By internal environment, I'm talking about human immunity. Corona is a flu, and just like any germ that we find in the environment, its capacity to cause us harm depends on how weakened our immunity already is. So if we apply a few common sense strategies to keep our immunity at optimal level, it will go a long way to boost our protection. And some of those steps include a balanced diet, which includes vitamin C. When Reverend Pam mentioned pepper soup, the common sense there is that it contains a lot of vitamin C. Pepper is a very rich source of vitamin C, and it is clinically proven that vitamin C boosts immunity. So if you drink a lot of water and you take a lot of vitamin C, generally the citrus fruits like lemon and orange and so on, then you'll be one step ahead of the virus. Then sleeping adequately is also very good for immunity. Cutting down on toxic substances like alcohol and tobacco, things that overwork your metabolism and weaken your immunity. If you can use this period to sacrifice those things, it will save both your health and other aspects. Then the final word to the women. There's a practice I started last year on my Facebook wall called ASOS Inspiring Women. So every woman, I go within my social network and I pick the top 10 women that moved me within the year through their example in their career, entrepreneurship, and leadership, because the goal there is to shine a spotlight on them so that young African women can use them as a role model. So today, the 8th of March, I started the 2020 version. And the first person I'm shining a light on today is Professor Anna Njunda, my former lecturer from the University of Boya. So over the next 10 days, that list will be unfolding, and the personal stories of each of these people would go a long way to inspire young women to reach out for the best that they can be.
Thank you so very much. Is there someone else that wanted to say their last word apart from Reverend Palm?
Felix is on mute. He's at a meeting. So
yeah, he's at a meeting. And Sylvia is still on the train. All that said, Reverend... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so you sneezed over there, and now I am sneezing.
So, Sylvia, your last word, please.
No, Sylvia, the connection, she's on the train. So there's
okay, the connection is not good. Okay, Reverend Pam, your last word.
Yeah, I am so glad these countries and organizers are canceling events. It's not worth it to put people at risk, especially when we don't know quite how many people have been exposed. So I applaud them, because human resources are more valuable than financial resources or economic resources. If you have all the money in the world and you don't have healthy humans to spend it or use it, you don't have nothing. You have jack. So I want to applaud them, and we also want to pray that we will keep this hygienic lifestyle, not just for this Corona period, but even in our regular lives, because the common cold has been around since the days of Jesus. The common cold has been around in biblical days, biblical times. So we want to keep this practice going, and I also want to applaud again and appreciate Brother Godfrey for his profound appreciation and respect for the African woman. Yeah,
Thank you so very much. And before we conclude, this news that came out of Ivory Coast on Thursday, Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara has finally announced that he will not be seeking a third term in office, bringing an end to months of suspense and speculation over the October 2020 elections. He has been in power since 2010, and his RHDP party must now find a replacement flag bearer. Ouattara surprised everybody during his State of the Nation speech on Thursday in Yamoussoukro, in which he addressed both members of parliament and senators. He spelled out he spent over 1 hour talking about how things are going to look going forward. He said he wants to hand over to a younger generation. That said, yeah, he said that, and I followed the speech, which was later posted on Facebook. Yep. Yes. So that said, I've been on and off because I've been trying to monitor the computer and at the same time talk to you on this program. It's been a pleasure, and I hope that, as we've all said, everybody will maintain high standards of hygiene so that together we keep safe rather than being sorry tomorrow. So that on that note, we're going to conclude the program. Thank you all. There was Sylvia rather. I like the name Stella more than Sylvia looks like. I keep saying that. And then there was Dr. Ogoji, there was Godfrey Eso, there was our brother Joe from Nung, and the Reverend Pam. My name is Asonglefac Nkemleke. Oh yeah, there was Felix and Norma who also called in. He was at a meeting. Thank you all for always being faithful to the program. Africa Online Media Corporation appreciates all we are doing to impact lives on the continent. Thank you all, and bye, and happy International Women's Day.
Thank you, and see you all next Sunday.
Thanks. You very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.